Welcome to week 76 of Cougs on Cougs. I am Jess here with Mary.
She's back.
It is good to be back. Yes, and fall camp is going on now, so this is the first week I've got to talk about it because I wasn't here last week.
And appropriately so because she was there, which we will get to in a minute, but we will start with our quote of the week, which is, being positive in a negative situation is not naive, it's leadership. So we chose a nice solid leadership quote because we did find out who our team captains are for football, which we will also get to in just a little bit, but we're going to start with continuing with our fall camp favorite series, and we're going to have Jess share basically her account from fall camp, what she observed, and, you know, some of her favorite things that she saw. So,
yeah, sure. So it was last Thursday that I went to camp. And
second day of full pads?
I think it was the second.
Or were they just wearing shoulder pads?
Just had shoulder pads on.
Okay.
But they were doing, when I got there, they were doing some drills and stuff, and then they switched to doing a scrimmage at the end. So
okay.
Kind of got to see a little bit of both. So when I first got there, I was just kind of watching different drills going on, quarterbacks with the wide receivers and tight ends. You had the O-lines and D-lines together. Special teams kind of doing their thing on the sideline, kicking around. We had the O-lines and the D-lines going together. So I went over there and I kind of lined up right with the ball and watched from the sidelines for a little bit. And yeah, they looked good. Both lines, they're very physical and tough with each other. I mean, no one was going easy, of course. And they're just kind of switching out guys and going at it. T-John's still really big, really strong, looks really confident out there. I mean, he's obviously the one of the captains now, one of the leaders, so he looks really good. I'm sure everyone's wondering about Molangi because
yes, answer more questions
he was
about
in there
Mo,
on the D-line, getting in and out of there. I did see a couple of false starts from him, so he's still kind of
learning.
Yeah, but you know, he got in there. He's pretty strong. I mean, it's kind of amazing what he can do on there, even with his little experience.
So would you agree with what the coaches are saying, that for as big as he is, he moves really well?
Yeah, I was really surprised. I mean, when you see him in person, like, he's big, but he doesn't look like big, if that makes, I don't know how to explain it other than he just looks solid and strong. My favorite part of watching that, and I think Mike MB posted a video of this, thank goodness, because I didn't get it. I was taking pictures at the time, but Mo at one point in the drill, I think Tajon took him down. He ended up on the ground, and I hear all of the offensive line guys go, "He's down, get him!" And they all jumped on him, including Coach MP, who was in there.
Coach MP did too. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna bet that the opportunity to dogpile him doesn't come very often because he's not probably usually the one on the ground, so they had to probably capitalize.
During the whole practice that I was at, I mean, Mo was getting tons of attention from everybody, just coming up, giving him high fives. I even saw Tanner slap him on the butt. Like, I think he fits in great.
Okay, what else?
So then they did the scrimmage part, and so they start at one end of the field, and they'd go down and they'd switch and go the other way. Switching off with quarterbacks, so Tanner would do a series, and then Bo, and then Coy.
Who else? Yeah.
So I mainly paid attention to the series with Tanner because it's Tanner Mangum, and that's who we're going to be watching.
Yes.
So initially, a few things that I noticed. Moroni had a really nice block on a running back play that they did.
It's great to hear.
So, yeah, it was pretty nice. He was getting some cheers and stuff. So, it was nice to see a tight end out there blocking for running back. He also had a really nice catch at one point in there. So, quite a few throws to tight ends, which was nice.
Short yardage or long?
Most of them were short, between 5 and 10 yards. But
more of the long ones for the receivers?
Yeah.
That's good. I think that's how
it should really be. There weren't too many long throws. I think I saw one or two that whole scrimmage.
To Jonah, maybe?
I think one was to Jonah, and I'm not sure who the other one was to. The receiver that stood out to me in that practice was Bo Tanner. And I actually
you did say his name to me, and I was like, oh, I haven't heard too much about Bo.
Yeah, and I actually, from stuff I saw from people that went today, he sounds like he was standing out again. So I think...
There you go.
Ty Demmer said that he's kind of surprised him in fall camp, and I thought he looked great. Really good routes, fast.
Good.
So, yeah, and wide receivers in general overall look better. And I'm sure that has a lot to do with Tanner putting it right on the money, but I think they've also worked really hard, and they're looking good.
Good.
I didn't see any dropped balls, I should say. So that's
praise. Yes.
As far as running backs, no one is still really standing out a running back to me. I saw a couple runs by Squally and then by KJ Hall.
What about Ulu? Our guy.
I didn't see him in there. It could have just been because I couldn't see or wasn't paying attention
or didn't see the right series, maybe.
Yeah, he might have been in with Bo and I wasn't paying as much attention.
But you mostly saw KJ and Squally?
KJ and Squally were the two that I saw. So, yeah, KJ, had some nice runs, but, he's still small.
Yeah.
But he's sneaky fast.
Yeah.
Still. So he could be definitely useful in some situations. So, I don't know. We'll kind of see how that goes.
Reno Mahe was talking, I think, just a couple days ago, and he said that it is Squally and Riley who are at the top of the 2 deep tailback chart. Yeah. So we could have guessed that, probably. So you didn't see much of Riley, though.
I did.
More of KJ.
On Thursday, yeah. So it doesn't mean he wasn't in there. I might have just not seen him. But.
So probably still stick to the running back by committee idea.
Yeah, probably. But I do think the tight end group is playing really well, and that will hopefully help out the running back group a little bit.
Okay, let's talk about Tanner.
Yeah, so Tanner looked great. I mean, what can you say about Tanner Mangum? He's very calm. He's very accurate. He looks very poised and confident on the field.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything that worried me at all with Tanner.
Good. Just doing what he should be and relaxed and having fun? Or
Yeah, and I will say there is an obvious drop-off between Tanner and Bo, and I don't think that's because Bo's not good. Bo is good. It's just Tanner is really, really good.
And then another interesting thing we will say that came out about Tanner was Hans Olsen, who has been down to fall camp a few days, said that during one of the 2-minute drills, he didn't see any calls from the sideline, and he thinks that Mangum was calling plays during the drill, which, as we have this quote from Garrett that said that that's a huge step, and it is.
And I also didn't see anybody getting to Tanner either. So that's nice.
No sacks. Were they, so they were tackling?
They weren't tackling. They'd blow the whistle as soon as they were touched. So
okay, but he wasn't.
I didn't see anybody get to him. I will say, I don't think they had the starters in there the whole time. I think they were
off, so. They've been very careful with the starters during fall camp. And knock on wood, we've been really lucky to avoid big injuries so far.
Quite a few of the starters on the sidelines quite a bit. But they were, cheering on their teammates, telling them where to be, that kind of thing. So that's coaching good. From the sidelines, always good to hear. Yeah.
Okay, so there is a report from fall camp.
All right, well, we've been teasing for weeks that we're going to talk to a BYU 50 winner, and we finally found one. Joining us now is Ben Wenzel. Hi, Ben.
How you doing?
Good. He's joining us from Augusta, Georgia, which is where he won the box. So you can find him on Twitter at bweezy64. We'll put that up for you. One thing about Ben before we go on with our interview, he is a former rugby player. Got to give a shout out. He won one national championship, right, in 2012.
I was more like the water boy, but I was on the team. So
hey,
it counts.
So, all right, let's get to talking about this BYU 50. So Ben won in Georgia, which is a completely different game than Utah. We're not going to go the Utah route, but impressive nonetheless. I'm not taking away from your win.
All right, if I had to do push-ups, I wouldn't have the helmet with me right now. Worked out for me.
No competing. You didn't have to do anything once you got there, right?
No competing.
Okay.
So I want to know, what was your strategy that day? I mean, were you kind of waiting around all day for them to post that picture and camping out places?
Yeah. Did you turn on tweet notifications? Like, walk us through your process here.
So that Saturday morning was actually, my parents and family were all down here, and we were at the beach. And I saw on Twitter that they were going to drop it in Georgia that day. So I said, hey, I'll have to check this out, see if it's going to be close to Augusta. In the past, they've dropped them in Atlanta, so that wouldn't have worked out for me. But as we got closer to home and they came out and said that it was in Augusta, my wife and I talked and we decided we needed to recruit free babysitting from my family. So we basically left. It was the last day with my family, but we left the kids with my parents. And we started thinking about, where could the possible drops be? Because there's a lot of places around here that, were historical from the Civil War or different monuments and things like that. But we also had to get diapers for our youngest son at Sam's Club, which is conveniently located kind of in the middle of everything. So we decided we'd go have our date to Sam's Club, pick up some diapers, have some ice cream, and then kind of wait and see where the box dropped or see where the helmet was dropped.
All right. Where did they end up dropping it?
Yeah, we don't even know.
Yeah, so they ended up dropping it. There's a park here called the Lady Antebellum Amphitheater, which is where they dropped it, which is one of the places where we thought that they might actually drop it.
Gosh, I feel like so much of it comes down to luck and your gut feeling, because you could have chosen a completely different place across town.
Right, exactly. So we kind of took the approach of give ourselves the best chance at kind of a more of a centralized location. But
And it worked out.
Right.
Were you like running to your car when you saw the picture?
So we were actually eating ice cream in the car, and I had the car parked in like the last parking spot in front of the light.
Strategy every step.
Dropped on, so I had Twitter pulled up. My wife had Instagram pulled up, and as soon as they put the picture up, we went speeding out of there.
Okay, yeah, I want to know about the timeline. So, I mean, tell me exactly how many minutes away you were from the amphitheater, like when you saw the tweet or notification, like how long it took you to get there, how much you beat everyone by. Give us the minute by minute details there.
Yeah, so we were about, according to Google Maps, I think it was like exactly 12 minutes away from the park when they dropped the helmet. I definitely got there in under 12 minutes. Luckily didn't run anyone over in the process.
Or get pulled over.
Right. That too. But yeah, so we got there in about 10 minutes. And then, so we ran up, they had the helmet on the ground. And so I was expecting to run up there and see, a helmet sitting on the ground.
Yeah.
And we got there and there was no helmet on the ground. There was no one standing around. So I thought, okay, well, obviously we were too late, which was surprising because we thought we were really quick getting there. So we turned off the car, went flying out of the car, running under the grass, looking like a bunch of idiots. And then, so we didn't see the helmet. I was getting bummed out. And then we saw there were two people sitting on a bench along kind of the walking path in the park that waved at us. And when they waved at us, I thought, okay, maybe we got here first.
And then they came and told you that you did?
Yeah, so we saw they had the helmet out and they had shirts spread across the bench and some different decals and things. And so we walked over there and they told us that we were the first ones to get there.
Wow. So, okay, and then how long after that did the next people show up?
So it was probably about 5 to 10 minutes. So we were lucky. Girls camp actually ended that morning or that afternoon. So it worked to our advantage. Hopefully people were at home and tired and not wanting to leave house after that.
So you're thinking the surrounding ward area was otherwise occupied. You were telling me about the second people to show up. You happen to know them, right?
So we have some friends that actually live kind of around the corner from us that we're really good friends with. And they won the box 2 years ago. So when we were going out, we thought, man, should we let them know that we're going out and see what they're doing? And we thought, no, they won it 2 years ago, so we'll just kind of be sneaky about it.
This is ours.
And so when they showed up after us in second place, we thought that was pretty funny.
That is really funny. So you guys beat them fair and square.
Right. But we did let their kid hold the helmet in the picture, so I felt like that was pretty generous.
Well, hey, they brought their kid. Maybe that was what held them back in the end.
Exactly.
So you stuck around, I'm assuming, like till the end. They'd take, all those pictures and everything. How many people showed up total?
Yeah, so there was probably about, so it was us and then our friends, and then there was one other family that showed up there towards the end. So there was probably about 8 to 10 people total.
And where's the helmet now?
It's sitting right by me all the time.
Yeah.
What we're saying is please show us the helmet.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Oh my goodness.
Do you have it like on display somewhere?
Yeah, what are you doing with it?
The original plan was for the mantle. It doesn't quite fit on the mantle, so we're gonna have to think of something else. I might have to put a nail in the wall and just hang it up by the TV during football season or something.
Yeah, I think you should definitely do
I think
that.
you should wear it during games for good luck.
Yeah. So you were saying that there wasn't actually a box, so it was just kind of like the helmet, but did you get other stuff or were they just like, hey, here's this helmet?
Yeah, so we got the helmet, and then we got some T-shirts, and they had some other BYU decals as well. So my daughter was really excited to have stickers when we got home, so we did at least bring something home for Olivia.
Do you have any advice for people that are still searching? There's still a couple more weeks.
My recommendation would be pick kind of a central location where you think that gives you a good shot to get to different places. Obviously in Georgia, there's, that works better when there's less people out there actively looking for it, but that would be my approach. Worked out for me.
And leave the kids at home.
Exactly.
Yes.
Leave the kids at home.
Okay, well, congratulations. It does take a certain amount of luck, but also a certain amount of skill. So good job to you and Kristen, your wife. So
right. Thank you.
Talk the Town this week. We're going to start with some sad news, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is sad.
Injury reports suck, but really this is kind of the only major one we've had so far, which is, knock on wood, crush fingers, all that. Total Blue Sports, sending good vibes to BYU cornerback Austin McChesney, who suffered an ACL tear in his right knee. He was in the 2 deep at quarterback after his ACL in the left knee last year. So he's going to redshirt. He'll have 3 years of eligibility remaining.
Which is great. And we will say someone pointed this out to us on Twitter, that his brother Jackson McChesney verbally committed and then left on his mission last year. So Austin will be able to play with his brother Jackson. So it's probably not really a consolation to Austin, but I mean,
totally bummed, and that's especially after just going through rehab on your other knee. That's no good.
I mean, is it better to find this out before the season than to have it happen? I mean, is there a good time for an injury?
No,
So anyway, sorry, Austin. We hope that you get better soon.
Yeah.
Okay, now on to some exciting news. As we said in our intro, we do have our team captains that were announced. So we have 4, 2 on offense, 2 on defense, as per usual. So our captains on offense are Tajon Karoma and Tanner Mangum, and on defense are Fred Warner and Butch Powell. So I wrote about this on Vanquish the Foe. You can go see it. You've got your 2 juniors in Tanner and Butch, and your 2 seniors in Fred and Tajon, which I think is a nice balance.
Yeah, it's good.
We tweeted some beautiful gifs of them.
Yes, we did. I think the only one that I'm maybe a little bit surprised about is Tajon, but maybe just because he's so quiet. So I wonder if this will change his style at all.
Well, I feel like we maybe perceive him as quiet, but I feel like he's really like an anchor to them on the field, which he hopefully will be even more of. And like you said when you were talking about how, in charge he looked at fall camp, I hope that this will only enhance that.
Yeah, I mean, he is one of your best players on the field, so.
For sure. Sticking with football, the preseason top 25 came out, which is exciting because it just means football is that much closer. We've got 3 opponents who are ranked in the top 25.
And these are all in a row for us, so that's going to be interesting.
Gosh.
LSU ranked number 12, Utah ranked 25th, and then Wisconsin ranked 10. That's week 2, 3, and 4. So that'll be a little bit intense.
Yeah.
We'll see how that shifts after the first week or 2.
Yeah, totally.
Finally got another Tanner Mangum Modeling Co. picture. This is on picture day, and this is your first chance to see the Lavelle Edwards patch on the jerseys.
It's kind of bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it's on the right side, and it looks good.
It looks really nice.
I know I've seen that some people don't really care for it. I think it's cool, and I think it's awesome.
The people who don't care for it need to just not say anything. Speaking of those patches, they are on sale now through the bookstore, as we said they would be, like Tom Hummel promised. So $5 for a patch, and you can go buy one of those online. We haven't heard anything about shirts, but they are going to be selling hats. And the bookstore tweeted us yesterday morning and said that those hats will be available next week.
All right. We have to give you our weekly update from the Packers because...
Hashtag BYU Packers.
Basically, that's what it is now.
Just plan on them being incorporated into Talk of the Town now.
Yeah, so the fun part was that Nicole Williams was there this week. Yeah. And so we got a lot of tweets and pictures from her. So this first one says, watched Jay Swag Daddy practice and got a big hug from Taysom. A fan asked, why did I get a hug from Taysom? And Taysom said, because that's my mom.
The fans don't know. It's so weird. But I'm sure they'll learn it very quickly. We have a string of tweets to share from this. So the Packers have been practicing. They're having their training camp. They had, I think, 60,000 plus show up for practice. So, we're expecting the same at our open scrimmage, okay? But Nicole Williams, again, tweeted this. She said, my boys from BYU now to Green Bay, always a mama, and it's Taysom in the middle in his Packer shirt and Jamal on the right in his BYU shirt. And I think Nicole's got a Jamal Williams shirt. But seriously, I'm, about to cry right now. It just makes me so happy to see them together.
And this one was fun, too. Nicole also tweeted, best quarterback in the NFL with the best mom, and that's her with Aaron Rodgers.
How cool is that?
That's pretty awesome.
Some other happy news for our NFL Cougs.
The New York Jets added BYU fullback Algernon Brown. So he has kind of bounced around a little bit, and I guess he's now landed with the Jets.
Yeah, so we literally talked about last week how the Seahawks were all high on him, and then all of a sudden he got waived, and we were hoping that he would land somewhere else because, teams need fullbacks, and there aren't a ton, so we were really happy to see the Jets snatch him up, and hopefully that'll be a good fit for him. We don't have a basketball section, so I just wanted to talk really quick about Chase Fisher.
Oh, sure. We always love to talk about Chase Fisher.
Always.
He's been MIA for a while, so...
And we have been
finally
sleuthing, and to no avail.
Trying to figure out where Chase Fisher
So
is.
thank you, Ben
One of our
Criddle.
favorites. Married
Thank
people
you.
admire Chase Fisher.
Going
This update's
strong,
for you.
always.
So he was on with Ben Criddle on Friday and talking about what he's been doing, and I thought this was interesting.
Very interesting.
Apparently, the team he was playing for over in Italy, he got into a contract dispute with him over, apparently they owed him some money or something, so he ended up leaving that team, going to another team in Italy, and as a result of that, his contract is now in litigation, which meant he can no longer play.
Yeah, translate lawyer speak, please.
Yeah, that means he's not going to be able to play overseas until that is resolved, and who knows how long that could be. So he was thinking it'd probably be a few years. He's not sure if he's going to keep playing or
Can
what.
he play somewhere besides Italy?
I don't know. Probably.
It sounds
Maybe.
like a mess.
Yeah, it does sound
Do
like
you
a
need
mess.
to tweet him and let him know that you could represent him, maybe?
No, I don't want to get involved with Italian basketball contracts. Are you kidding
Why
me?
not?
No, thank you. So he said that he's been doing some training in West Virginia and then down in Florida. He's doing a camp here in Utah.
Yes, with Charles LeBeau and Brandon Davies.
That's right. And then he also said that he is working on getting his real estate license in Florida.
Okay.
So dabbling in that a little bit.
Why
and
not?
then, my favorite part, he said that he's got some chickens and he is working on an organic egg business. Does that not sound like Chase Fisher?
I feel like before he graduated, we talked about, like, what he might do, and we couldn't have, like, guessed anything better. Like, nailed it.
So great.
Organic eggs.
So it was really nice to me. He had lots of good things to say about BYU. He talked a little bit about this upcoming team and how they're doing. He said basically he expects a lot of running and gunning. Like before, he mentioned, he's like, I'd rather win 103 to 100 than 53 to 50.
They might as well hang that in the Marriott Center.
Yeah, so he said, life's short, gun it up. So that's his advice for the basketball
Both
team.
of those things need to go up in the Marriott
Yeah,
Center.
they said he's expecting TJ Nix to carry the team pretty well. One thing I thought was interesting, he said he mentioned that he thinks Dalton Nixon is really good and that he's a little bit underrated.
Underrated,
so he'll be
yeah, that
watching Dalton
was
for sure.
the $1 million word.
And he also had really nice things to say about Eric Mika and his decision to leave and all that. So, anyway,
Well,
check that
too bad
interview
they
out
won't
if
be
you
playing each other in Italy anytime soon.
can. Nope, guess not.
Good luck to Chase for resolving that, but we're so happy to know finally what he's doing. Last thing that we wanted to talk about in Talk of the Town, back to football a little bit. So there was this tweet floating around Twitter from Michael Dunlap who said you can go back and give any single player, any athlete, a clean bill of health for their career. Who do you pick? I will say the majority of BYU fans were obviously saying
Taysom Hill, duh.
like no brainer. But this one is from Ului Lapuohu, and he said Derrick Rose, which is also a very good choice. That's kind of one of those players you've always wondered, what if? But the best part about this was Coach Tuiaki quote tweeted Ului and said Ului Lapuohu.
Which is so nice.
It is really nice.
And it is such a bummer about his career.
It is. And I didn't even realize at first that he was quote tweeting Ului and saying that, which is funny because Coachy is always funny, but it's true. You do wonder what difference that would have made, because we lost so many games by
for him
a point
and for the
or
team.
fewer, and I really think Ului could have been that difference.
What is next? BYU 50 is still going on. So Utah was on Saturday. It was a little bit crazy.
Insane.
They dropped one about 2 seconds from my house, and I didn't have my notifications on.
Oh.
I know. So New Mexico today, turn on your notifications. New York Wednesday, North Carolina Thursday, North Dakota Friday, and then Ohio and Oklahoma on Saturday.
Yep, and don't forget Ben's advice to maybe go near a central location if you can.
Leave the kids at home.
As for what else, these things are not this week, but in the next couple weeks, we'll remind you again about the scrimmage, which is on August 17th, so that's next Thursday at 4:30 at Lavelle Edwards Stadium, and on the 15th, so a couple days before that, is your Cougar kickoff, which is at the field by the IPF.
That's fun if you've never been.
Get autographs.
Yeah, we met the basketball team last year. A lot of the football team was there. Lots of fun stuff going on. Face painting,
and it's free, of course. So
yeah, it's fun. And then also Portland State tickets, single individual tickets, went on sale yesterday, as well as Rock Passes. So get those if you don't already have them.
Yes, make sure you do. As for our sponsors this week, our first sponsor is Mo Longy and Les Longy. This tweet was from at Sports Outliers, and we just thought it was hilarious. Harvey, get it?
I get it. It's pretty funny. Also brought to you by the BYU Football schedule in emoji. Shout out to Ben Gretel for this tweet. It's pretty great.
I think it's cute.
I love the little mascots.
May you always stay loyal to the white and blue. For Jess, I'm Mary, and we'll see you next week.